Do you think it serves a woman to always lead with sex?
No.
Okay.
I would say it's important to lead with sexual desire, but don't lead with overt sexuality.
Because I've heard a lot of women express that they feel nice girls finish last and guys go for, you know, the bad girls, the bad bees. Is there elements of that that's true, do you think?
That nice girls finish last? Do they finish last if they got the ring?
That's a good question.
And are you winning if you're the side chick that he comes to for the clap?
She recently became a devout Christian.
Recent red flag.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got a great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we love to talk about all things dating, relationships, and see what we can do to attract the kind of person and relationship we want. So without further ado, please welcome back to the show, MrKing. Mr. King's takes himself out here looking fly. Let's go. How are you doing today, man?
I'm all right, man. It's good to be back on the slick sofa.
I know.
I had to represent a little bit.
Listen, we got him some of that good juice as well. Like we're gonna get into it today.
Let's do it.
But I always love to jump straight in, King. So first, tell us how old you are and what a woman should know about you if you're gonna take her out on a date.
I'm 32. And what a woman should know about me if I'm gonna take her on a date. Some things don't change, bro. So I need interest ridiculously high, as in raw desire. I don't negotiate that shit, you know what I'm saying? And I need a massive degree of respect and cooperation. The rest of it is on me. Do you know what I mean? I'll take care of the rest of it. I just need high interest and respect. Are we good?
I like that. How can you tell from the first date without anything sexual happening at the end that a woman has high interest, high desire for you?
High desire. I think it's very interesting because I'm a classic physical touch type of guy. Do you know what I mean? And many men will say it's the case, but once a woman gets to know me, I'll really be about that life for real. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I get tactile very early. Do you know what I mean? And I usually like to be very up close and personal to my lady because I don't bite, and I like to make contact. So generally in my real life, what I find is with my friends, for example, I wrestle them a lot, the men. And for the women, they get a lot of cuddles. So I remember a lady being asked a question about me at the time when I used to use Bumble, and a friend has to leave a review of you. And she said, for someone who's so driven and very like direct, you're remarkably cuddly. So I'm a classic physical
really
touch kind of guy. You know what I mean? So
That's
one of the
really
ways I
nice.
know a woman has real high desire for me is our proximity and tactileness is on fire. Whether or not we sleep together. I mean, sleeping together usually happens anyway. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of whether or not it happens, usually if my dates are anything to go by, we're tactile very early. Kissing happens inside 15 minutes. It starts happening.
Within 15 minutes most times, for real.
Genuinely, yeah.
Okay, listen, guys,
rapid,
listen,
yeah.
we let it. So so let me ask one for the ladies. How can a woman tell? Because I think a woman can get a lot of physical desire from a man, but how would she be able to tell, or can she tell from the first date whether a guy is genuinely interested in getting to know who she is, as opposed to just what she looks like without the clothes on?
I think it's fascinating, man, because this is part of what makes dating so tricky right now. On one hand, well, evolution, biology, and psychology tells us that deception has always been part of human mating and dating. So part of what we do is we pretend in some ways, sometimes as men, and women also pretend. Sometimes women feign interest in order to get male access. And sometimes men feign long-term intent in order to get sexual access. So deception is part of the game. Do you know what I mean? Not that's a good thing. But generally, I think, because it's very easy to say things like, look for whether he's asking you the deep and meaningful things, whether he's actually interrogating who you are and looking for signs of compatibility. But that can also be feigned.
Very true.
So the truth is you ultimately have to trust your gut, because there's this, we talk about it often, and whether or not it's absolutely true is debatable, but things like intuition. I think more often than not, women know a lot more than they let on. And they're often picking up cues, non-verbal cues, very, very early. Even sometimes it's energetic that they're picking this stuff up on. And a lot of the time they just don't listen to it until it blows up in their faces. So I think it's a combination of seeing the signs of good intent, i.e. the deep and meaningful questions, but also trusting your instincts. Does he feel true? Do you know what I mean? And I think if women would quiet the noise, quiet their fears, quiet the chatter, there is a little voice that tells them the truth all the time.
Why do you think men would not listen to that and still follow through with the guy if they get in that instinct? Because, and I have a theory, but I want to know what you think. We hear a lot of the time, women can be very quick to go, yeah, he ain't it.
Right.
But then the same woman who'll be so quick out of 20 guys to be like 18 of them, now you ain't it. When it comes to the guy that they like, they will ignore that intuition, ignore all of that, and still follow through, even though internally she may know that she's getting a casual kind of intention from him, not a serious one.
Yeah.
Why would she be so quick to reject 90% of men, but then struggle to acknowledge what her intuition is telling her about this one guy?
Yeah. I think there is this other thing that we often don't talk about enough and women never admit. It's just the truth of it. Sometimes desirability can be intoxicating on a woman. And the prospect of experiencing the one in a blue moon desirable man can literally get women drunk mentally. It's almost like a chemical of a hormonal cocktail.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's quite that. But chemistry can be intoxicating. So she may dismiss a bunch of different men. But then she comes across the type of guy she doesn't often experience. And she may know that from the vibe I'm getting, from the inner voice I'm hearing, this guy's probably just going to blow my back out and nothing is coming out of this. But the prospect of entertaining it, experiencing it so she can say, I've had that before, and the possibility of having hope to maybe, through the sexual access, get access to him and hopefully use that to claw her way into showing why she's relationship material for that guy.
Right.
It can lead to that, because that's often, I mean, Dr. David Buss talks about it in his book, The Evolution of Desire. This idea that a lot of the time we see women use sexual access as a way of beginning to get relationships, as a way of making a long-term claim.
Yes.
So the sex gives you access to the man, and then you start to show him why you're so amazing and why you're awesome and why he should be serious.
Yes.
Which is actually it's a worthwhile strategy. It works, but obviously I wouldn't advise every woman to do it for every man, because you got. Do you
think it serves a woman to always lead with sex?
No.
Okay.
I would say it's important to lead with sexual desire, but don't lead with overt sexuality, because I think a man needs to know that you fancy him.
Yes.
I say this to a bunch of different people. Recently, I said this to a client, but this idea of if we go on a date, let's stop all the bullshit for a second. If we go on a date as a man, you know that part of the reason why I've approached you, whether it's an app or in real life, is because I find you sexually attractive.
Of course.
Sexual attraction simply means I find you attractive for sexual purposes, aka I would love to bend you over. Let's not kid ourselves about it, right?
Facts.
So you know why he's coming. So let's not pretend like we're cousins. So even if you don't want to do that straight away, you need to highlight that I do see you through that prism, right? So if the woman is giving you friend vibes, oh, I'm a good girl, I don't do no sex shit, it's like, are you my family or are we here with romantic intent? Because the one thing that switches this dynamic from something platonic is the evidence of sexual energy. So we don't necessarily have to strip off and start an OnlyFans page in front of all these people in the bar. Yeah. But that needs to be proof that that's how you see me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because men need that. So I wouldn't say necessarily go and show everything.
Yes.
But you do need to highlight it, whether it's how tactile you get with him, still keeping it classy though, or even if at the end you don't necessarily sleep together, how passionately you kiss him can send the message of, I still see you like this.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But the evidence needs to be there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because if not, then what are we doing? Let's just be real.
And is that, her being able to show genuine interest and desire for him, would you say that reinforces his investment towards her and wants to see her?
Absolutely. Because again, it's like I say, we're not playing about the fact that this is not a platonic dynamic. I'm not here to be your best friend, and I'm not about to pretend like you're my cousin. If I'm an integrated man who has self-respect, who is authentic to who he is, and doesn't apologize for his carnal desires, then there's going to be no acting. So really and truly, you do need to show me that. Because if not, then I'm going to read that as, okay, she may be enjoying this process, but I don't know if she actually sees me in a romantic context. So 100%. If I have any respect for myself, I'm not going to be investing any further in somebody who doesn't see me through the prism that I see them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So, yeah.
I had this exact conversation with a client of mine recently in terms of, because I think a lot of women are afraid of rejection.
Right.
And a lot of women are not necessarily used to rejection, especially sexual rejection, because even if a man may not see a woman for serious, if she offers a sexual invitation, a lot of guys will still take that.
For sure.
So I think a lot of women can be afraid of rejection, especially if they've been hurt before, right? Yeah. And so I think they go, cool, well, I'm only going to show any level of vulnerability or interest once I know that he really likes me. Yeah. Once I know that he's put in the work to show that he's really about me. Yeah. And of course, well, early on, he doesn't actually know who you are. You're just asking him to put in work because of how you look. And if a man's going to put in all the work, all the investment purely because of the physical, not because of your energy, not because of who you are as a woman, not because of how you move, what kind of man are you actually going to be attracting? Are you filtering out at that point? Yeah. But yeah, it's having to give that reassurance that you showing interest to a man is going to make him invest and have more intention with you because, as men, we're very logical. So we see it almost as an investment.
For sure.
Right? Because we make the investment up front. And we're more likely to make the investment where we believe we're going to get a return.
For sure.
And so that high interest is saying, hey, if you invest in me, you're gonna get that return.
Return is on the cards.
The return is on the cards at least, right? Whether it comes or not, it's down to her.
Yeah.
You had a few things you want to talk about today. So what's one thing you want to chat about? Bring to conversation.
Man, let's start with this. The idea of single by choice.
Yes.
A lot of women say they're single by choice. And I guess the first, to kick off digging into it, I'd like to know your take. Do you think it's a reality that women can be single by choice? Or is there something deeper happening?
Good question. Anyone can be single by choice.
Right.
But single by choice refers to if the kind of person you would choose to be in a relationship with came along, you would still deny it because you don't want to be in a relationship right now.
Right.
So it's kind of like, the analogy you can give is if you're waiting at a bus stop and a bus comes where it's going to the destination that you want to go in, would you jump on that bus? Mm-hmm. If the answer is yes, then you're not single by choice, you're single by circumstance. Yeah. If the answer is no, as in, I know I want to get to that destination and I know this bus there is going to take me there, but I don't want to get there yet, so you would let it pass you by, then you're single by choice.
Got you.
And I think the reality for most women is they are single by circumstance, as in the kind of man that they'd want to be in a relationship with has not revealed himself or pursued her. Therefore, she is single. Because I think a lot of the time when people say single by choice, they're trying to express that, oh no, I have options. I'm just not choosing them, but I could. Fantastic. It means nothing if they're not the options that you want.
Precisely.
So now I think being single by choice more commonly is in men because of how we see relationships, the responsibility we take on, making that commitment, all of that. Yeah. We can meet a girl and be like, she would be a good girlfriend.
For sure.
I'm just not ready to take that on yet.
Yes.
And so I think single by choice is more synonymous with men typically. There are some men who are definitely single by circumstance as well. Mm-hmm. But I think for most women, when they're single by choice, it's like realistically, especially if the kind of man they would choose is 1 in 50, if that man came along, you would take him.
Fact.
That's what I think. But what do you think?
I agree. I think it's a single by circumstance is a great way to put it. I think one of the ways I put it was actually rather brutal. And I found a way to dress it up a little bit. But I think it's more the idea of like single by asymmetrical selection.
Interesting. Break that down for us.
As in, for example, it's like you say, I've got 50 guys who want me. So I can say I have options, but you don't actually want to be with any of these 50 men, because if you did want to be with them, you would have got with one of them and be happily off the market.
Yes.
So if the options you want, if the options that are available to you are not the options that you want, then we don't need to call them an option. Because to me, an option is someone who wants you for the same reason you want them.
Yes.
So if you want a long-term relationship, he has to be a guy who qualifies in your book, and he has to want you for the same reason. If you don't have the guys who qualify, because there are guys who want you but they don't qualify.
Yes.
Or there are guys who qualify but they don't want you the way you want them.
Yes.
So if the men you do have who you call your options are men you don't want, then they're not an option.
Exactly.
And if the very few men who do qualify, who you would call an option, are not men who are ultimately choosing you for that long-term purpose, then you're single because you're not being selected by the man you want.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not so much that he hasn't shown up. Is that he is available, there's just not a lot of him. But you do encounter some. Yes. It just turns out that those men are not choosing you. Yeah. So oftentimes that becomes a big conundrum that I inevitably confront women with. Sometimes, you push, cajole, nurture, but sometimes I have to tell them the truth in as raw a way as possible. As I tell them, listen, this is how I would tell you it if you were my little sister.
Yes. Yeah.
It's either you grow here so the guy can actually see you in that kind of way.
Very true.
Or you accept that perhaps you got to drop standard. And that standard drop as well, it feeds onto my very next question I wanted to ask you. No. Because this whole thing about the standards, right? I truly believe what you want has to want you back.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. Has to be consensual. Come on.
Right? So you can't have a standard if the standard does not want you. Is the reason why I keep saying this idea. I recently made a reel about it. You can't, it's one thing to say to me, Kit, I want a man who is a high value man. But the flip side of that question is, do high value men want you?
Very true.
I want a man who has ABC, makes 6 figures, whatever the fucking thing is. Cool, desire it.
Mm-hmm.
But does that type of man want you? How many examples of that type of man do you actively have right now that is in process of pursuing you for the purpose of long-term relationship? Because if you don't have any evidence of that, then the type of thing you say you want isn't showing mutual interest back in the same direction.
Yeah.
So can we say that's your standard?
It's interesting because why do you think, we'd have to ask, a woman this, but why do you think they say that, oh, this is my standard if they've... So here's what I say, right? And you have to know how to say it in a way that lands, of course, especially when speaking to women.
Yeah.
I always say the most desirable man in terms of looks, success, economic, all of that. Who is the most desirable man you have ever gotten a relationship from?
Right.
That is where your standard is, so at least starting.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never had a man like that, like a man higher than that, commit to you long term, not sleep with, but actually commit to you long term.
For sure.
Then you have to ask yourself, okay, I can want this standard, but am I operating at that level to attract this kind of man for something serious?
Right.
So I guess, but my question for you is, why do you think, because we do hear it a lot, why do you think many women say, well, this is my standard?
Yeah.
And we hear a lot of women say that, where, because it has to be coming from somewhere if there's a large demographic of women who all say, this is what my standard is, especially if they weren't saying that before. So where do you think that might have come from?
A degree of solipsism, a degree of ego or bruised ego, oftentimes. It's a sad reality, Kit, to have to even talk about it or confront it. But the reality is a lot of women have had experiences where they've been scarred, they've been hurt, and then inevitably they have a new standard as a result of the pain. Now, I believe if you have a standard for how you should be treated behaviorally, I'm with you.
100%.
From now on,
Yes.
he needs to be kind. From now on, he needs to be considerate. He has to
Yes.
communicate. I'm with you.
Absolutely.
Where you start talking about, so that's quality, right? As you put it,
Yes.
the things that come together to make a man's value, caliber and quality.
Absolutely.
If your standards are about his quality, hallelujah.
Yes.
If it's about caliber, we need to have a discussion because then we have to interrogate why. And then we get into this idea of, but I deserve that. But what is the reason why you deserve it? Because if we say deserve, we're talking about meritocracy.
Yes.
So why then? And I don't think most women actually have any proof actively to say that this is why I think I merit that. It's one thing to say, I deserve to be with a Kim Kardashian. But is a Kim Kardashian beauty standard woman looking at me thinking, you
That's
deserve
what
me?
I want.
Right? And if it doesn't, then I have to actively look at myself. What kind of guy usually gets it?
Yes.
And I look at it and he looks like this, he works like this, he makes X amount of money. So if I want this type of girl, I need to become these metrics.
100%.
I can give myself an active syllabus to go work with.
Yes.
And I don't think women do that. Women never look at the guy and go, this is the type of guy I want. He does this type of thing. What kind of woman does he actually go for? And am I that right now? And if I'm not that, then how do I grow?
Yes.
I don't think women do that. They just go, I deserve it. And I think this is why I say it comes out of pain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Your ego gets bruised by somebody and you decide that, cool, from now on, I deserve a guy who's like this.
I have a theory.
You know, tell me.
I have a theory. I think when we see maybe a woman raises her standards in terms of, we differentiate between caliber and quality, right? For anyone, watching, quality is to do with his character. Caliber is to do with what he is on paper. I think if a woman's been hurt and she raises the standards in terms of the caliber, not necessarily in the quality in terms of how she's treated, which I agree should always be raised. I think the caliber comes is because she goes, it's kind of like a woman saying, okay, well, if I'm going to be cheated on anyway, he better be rich.
Right.
If he's going to, not call and answer my phone, he better be attractive. If he's not going to be taking me out on dates, he better have that long D. Right? So I think what's happened is that if they've been hurt by a man who maybe wasn't of a high caliber before, and they go, well, if I'm going to be experiencing these heartaches within a relational dynamic with a man, I better get these things from him.
Right.
So it's almost like they make the pain transactional. If you're going to be giving me this pain, I better be getting X, Y, Z from you, which is why when they go, oh, I've been hurt, I've raised my standards now.
Of course.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
And so I think ultimately, and this is where I guess they can kind of get boxed in, because ultimately the irony is the higher caliber man you want, the less likely he's going to be taking a woman seriously because he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And so this cycle just continues.
Someone said something very interesting to me. It's a lady who's actually very, very special to me as well. She said to me, she said, you know what it is, King? And I'm going to say this and I'm going to confront you with it. It's niggas like you that's fucking up the dating market. And I was like, the fuck?
Really?
And she was talking to me about it. And she was just like, no, it's the desirable bunch. It's you lot that's fucking it up. Because think about it. Everybody on your level and higher than you, because the spectrum of desirability is vast. Everybody around your level and higher has access to a big pool of women.
Sure.
And because of that, there are some women who are not on your level who you fuck anyway.
Sure.
And because you fuck them, you delude them into thinking they can get a guy like you for the long term. And that then allows them to go meet a guy who is on her level and she thinks she's settling for that guy. So now she doesn't take a guy on her level seriously because she thinks I can get a nigga like this. And she said, it's people like you. So if the dating market is going to change, the desirable bunch have to leave the girls that's not on their level alone. From now on, only deal with women. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I need to talk to Kit about this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like,
you're not wrong. It's the parallels are just so interesting between me and this man. A woman in my life who's also quite special to me, right? She's like a second mum to me.
Yeah.
And I spoke to her about, she's kind of like she's been like I'm gonna say counselor, but like a go-to in many ways, in some of my own personal journey, but also relational. And one thing she was like, she said to me, Kit, you spoil these women, you know, I'm a taken man now. Because even if I would be dating women casually and it's been very upfront, like, hey, look, this is where I'm at, we're only going to be, you know, seeing each other casually,
right.
I will still treat them very well.
Same.
You know, like we can still hang out. If you come to mine, I'm going to be the best host, right? I want to know what's going on in your life because personally for me, I'm not saying every guy has to be like this. I'm like this. I actually have to like you even to be casual.
Right.
I didn't always used to be like that. Before, sure, when I was younger, it was just like, if you're attractive enough, cool, let's do it. But if we're going to be casual, I'm still giving you my time. So I have to like you, even if it's not going to go anywhere serious.
Right.
And so if hypothetically I were one of these Negroes in the desirable category, hypothetically.
Yes, you are, Kit.
Who knows? Who knows? I'll let other be the judge. But so if you have a guy who, like you said, has that access, he entertains women, maybe he's entertaining them casually, but still treats them very well.
Bro.
Probably makes that even worse.
You know what's crazy, bro? Because I said this to a at the time, a good friend of mine called Jess. And I said this to her because she was telling me, similar to what you just said, she was telling me, you need to stop a lot of what you're doing with the women that you do casual stuff with. Because even when I'm casual with you, even if I'm giving you a night of my time, you are my girlfriend for the night.
Yeah.
So I will handle you like you were my lady.
Yeah.
I will still hold your hand and still lead you through an entire process. And after, you know, we get down to the sheet stuff, I'll still kiss you on the forehead. I'll still run an aftercare process for you of holding you while eating ice cream and stroking your hair and shit. I do all this stuff that you would conventionally do to a woman that you were taking more seriously because it's a level of affection that goes beyond just the carnal act.
Yes.
I do that even if we're casual.
Yes.
And I remember, and I don't think this particular gesture necessarily has weight, but my friend Jess was telling me that the moment you kiss our foreheads, we're fucked. As women, you kiss our forehead, we're finished.
Right,
do you know what I mean? And I was just like, I do that with everybody.
Is that, you know what?
So like,
yeah, go on.
I don't necessarily know if there's much significance to kissing somebody's forehead, but I think the point she was actually trying to make is that even the women you're not taking seriously, you move like you're taking them seriously for the brief periods you do give them. So if, again, like we say, because desirability is a big spectrum.
Yes.
Every man that looks like you and looks better than you, earns like you and earns higher than you. If they're doing the same thing, then it's you lot that's ruining it. Because then it's making women think they can keep you. Because when a woman is, even if she thinks it's casual and her experience of you seems to have more depth, her mind is hearing that it's casual, but her body and her hormones and the chemicals is experiencing depth. So inevitably she's seeing it as, yeah, but it's serious. Yes. You know what I mean? So, and this is the conflict that can happen with women.
Hear that?
Yeah.
Is there not maybe a confusion where, so for example, you could be engaged with a woman casually where she is mistaking depth of the connection with depth of who you are as a man? So maybe it's that the depth may not be, not saying there isn't depth in the connection, but the reason there's depth in the connection isn't because it's serious, it's because I'm dealing with a deep man. I'm dealing with a man who brings depth to a woman that he is engaging with, whether that's serious or casual. And the reason I say that is because I hear what your friend's saying. I would kind of challenge her on saying where, oh, because we're being treated like serious. And I'm like, what does that mean though? Because being serious, like committing to someone, that's a decision.
Of course.
It's not a feeling.
Right.
It may be a feeling for women because a lot of the time, you know, there are always exceptions to the rule. But for a lot of women, if they're feeling a man, they like him being intimate, they naturally become committal to him, right? Through her behavior. For a lot of men, the commitment is a decision he has to make.
Precisely.
And so I think saying that, okay, but he treats me like a girlfriend. Does he though?
Right.
Because he can treat you well, but being treated like a girlfriend is him making the decision for you to be his girlfriend.
Right.
If he has not made that decision, then he's not treating you like a girlfriend, however it may feel. You may feel genuine investment from him. You may feel actual depth from him. But until that decision has been made, I think it's wrong interpretation to be like, well, he treats me as a girlfriend. No, maybe he has depth as a man because that's how he treats people. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do, yeah. It's an interesting distinction because I think you're right. But I think for women, considering, and I don't want to say the cliche, oh, women are emotional.
Sure.
No. But we know that they tend to lean more on that faculty compared to us. Significantly more. More easily given to sentimentality and connecting in that kind of way.
Yes.
So inevitably, when the signs of investment is hitting her nervous system, her interpretation of that is, this feels like girlfriend treatment.
Sure.
Right.
That's fair.
So the decision has not been made. Like you say, the specifics of how men move to make it secure isn't happening.
Yes.
But from what is actually hitting her system and her body is reacting to, it is all the signs of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, attachment can be there without commitment.
Absolutely.
Attachment can be there without
But
commitment.
this is what's interesting, Kit, because outside of what you've said, that decision is what shifts it from, okay, cool, we've been navigating each other, dating, it's been going somewhere, and then we've got to the turning point where I actually put the title on it, and this is the act that makes you are my woman now.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, everything in this gap, I do as much as I do with the women who become my girlfriends as my casual ones.
Facts.
If I'm going on a holiday, you're still coming. Do you know what I mean? Even though you're just cheeks.
Yeah,
but while you're there,
yeah.
you're my girlfriend for the week where you're coming out with me.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So this is some of the things that I think if other men are doing the same, then I can absolutely see how it's making a lot of women confused. Because
Facts.
It's like, would you really fly me out if I'm not that girl for you? And hold my hand everywhere we go, and then say this is the missus. Or when I'm going home,
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, you couldn't do that.
And then you put me in the Uber when you're sending me home, and you tell the Uber driver, "Yo, this is my wife. Look after her," for banter. But she's hearing all this type of game stuff happening.
Yeah, and I think to be fair to your friend, actually, I think if a guy is saying those things, doing it to that extent with a girl he knows he's not taking seriously, I would say that's irresponsible.
That's irresponsible of him or her.
Of him.
Okay.
In a sense of, if he is calling her, you know, this is my wife, look after all of that, especially because, let's be honest, right? Men who deal with women, they know women.
Of course. Come on, mate.
You know women. But, like the kind of guy that many women go that, you know, who had this access. Yeah. Like, you know, when you've been dating a girl for a few months or it's casual, you know when she's getting a bit too attached.
For sure.
You feel it. Yeah. She doesn't have to say it, but you feel it. You know women. So I think if a guy, and I guess I would kind of go from what your friend is saying. Yeah. If as a man you recognize where doing things to a certain extent, regardless of maybe what we tell her, and I've battled with this within myself. Yeah. Regardless of what we tell her, doing these things gives her the impression that it could be going somewhere serious. Even when you've said, hey, just so you know, this ain't it. Yeah. Do we have a responsibility as men to take accountability purely because we're the one who is in the most control?
Absolutely. Because I should tell your audience, disclaimer, by the way, this is from back in my fuckboy days, okay? We done retired. We're Christians right now, you dig?
He's reformed. Not the party, but himself.
We've reformed. I ain't a savage like that no more. Or am I?
Who knows?
But the point is, I think you're right, Kit. I think on a serious note, we do have responsibility, because I've had those moments where, for example, and I don't mind sharing this stuff because I think when I'm vulnerable about this, I think anybody with a brain can tell that the intent here is not to impress, but to ultimately educate
and convey
and to provoke, right? Healthily for better outcomes. At one point, I ran a rotation of 6 women in the middle of my dating app fuckboy toxic phase, and I told everybody, just so you know, I don't belong to you. I'm seeing multiple people, but the reality is, each of those women was getting signs of investment from me.
Yes, and
inevitably, each of them, by behavior, was seeking a relationship. They had told me that in word, and they had told me that in action. And I had told them, yo, this ain't where I'm at.
Yeah.
It didn't stop them, even though they knew this was happening.
Yes.
Right? At one point, I did ridiculous, wild shit where one person came in the morning, they left, I had a shower, next person came in, had a shower, next person came in the evening.
Okay.
3 was going wild, right?
Okay.
What's crazy about that is it didn't stop the women from engaging.
No.
And this is the part of it that is what I was saying earlier on when this pod started, where I was saying that sometimes just to have experienced it, the guy you don't come across a lot.
Interesting.
Just to be able to say it's on my record, I done been there. I dated that. There are many women that actually want that. Because think about it, kid. If we're rational human beings and I go, you know what, this guy, kid, don't like me. Why am I still trying to be his friend?
Yeah.
Every time I text you, you don't text me back. 4 days, I ain't heard from you. And I'm still actively trying to be your friend. Kid, there's a theater show coming. You want to come with me? Nah, King, I'm busy. Kid, there's my mom's in town. You want to come? We're doing jollof rice for my boys. Nah, I ain't coming.
Yeah.
And I'm still chasing you. At one point, you're going to be like, yo, do you like yourself?
Big facts.
Right?
Big
Unless
facts.
I think so highly of Kit that I must have Kit as a friend.
Yes.
To the point where I will abandon myself to experience that. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting. And that makes complete sense. And that then makes me go, so is the responsibility on her to be our own parent and go, this isn't good for me?
Absolutely. I think the men should take responsibility too, because when the tide started to turn, I started to safeguard the women. As in, tell them the truth. But the moment I see the investment getting somewhere, I pull them aside and say, babe, by your behavior, this is what I'm seeing. You done told me that you can handle this, but I'm going to have to call this quits because from what I am seeing, I would like to save you the pain that this could be right now.
Yes.
This probably sucks right now, but I promise you 3 more months of this, you'll be in pieces.
Yeah.
So this needs to be over.
It's so hard.
Do you know what I mean? But the reality is you do have to safeguard yourself, because one of the things and I said this to my cousins before I actually started coaching, is I was saying to them, you can't expect your prisoner to be your liberator. If a man is benefiting from your warmth, your energy, every time you're around him, you cook for him, you rub his back, you massage him, he's benefiting from all the puss, all this shit that's happening.
Yes.
He's enjoying all this shit. What guy do you know that's about to say no?
It's true.
Most men won't say no to these benefits.
It's true.
So if you're expecting the guy who is benefiting to be the one to liberate you from it, you're playing.
Yeah. He's
going to have to be incredibly evolved mentally and emotionally, spiritually, to want to look after you like that. Most men will just enjoy it till you get tired enough, till you're hurt enough to rip yourself away from it. By then, it's usually too late.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think men do need to look after women. However, at the same time, the responsibility is even more in the hands of the women, mate. Because the truth is, how are you expecting the guy benefiting to let you go?
Yeah, I do agree with that. You know, one thing I say, the only person responsible for not wasting your own time is you. And and I think the reason I battled with this internally is because there's the side that's like, yes, having that level of, people might call it empathy, taking responsibility, doing the quote unquote the right thing. But also there's a side of, well, I'm treating you like an equal, like I'm treating you like an adult. So if I say this is what it is up front, take it or leave it, you can't say I'm going to take it, but I'm going to try and change you.
Yeah.
Because then that's you not taking no for an answer, which is wrong, regardless of how you feel. You know, I always say that the reference is, you know, if a man approaches a woman in a bar or club and she says no, right? And he goes, oh no, but I can change her mind. That's what women do when they date a guy casually. He's like, I don't want anything serious. She's like, no, I'm going to stay to change his mind. That's you not taking no for an answer.
That's a beautiful analogy.
You know, it's the same guy who's like not taking no for an answer.
That is a beautiful analogy, but I think that is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think women do need to safeguard themselves more. As in, Okay, and you've probably had this before,
Go on.
where you've gone on a date with a woman and they've told you within a 15-minute rate or 15 to 20 minutes of the date, things are already ramping up and is heating, and this is the type of chemistry that she knows she doesn't experience all the time.
Yeah.
But it happens that once in the blue moon where the chemicals just bah!
Yeah.
And she tells you, you're gonna ruin my life, ain't you? And it doesn't stop her from continuing the experience. Because okay, I've been told that numerous times, and I've gone, yeah, darling, I am.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. But you're gonna have fun while I do it. You know what I mean?
I'm glad we're on the same page.
You know what I mean? And it hasn't stopped them, kid.
It's so interesting.
So for me, you know what? It's like, we hear that, oh, women like bad boys, and it's a cliche.
Yeah.
I don't think women want to be treated badly. As you and I know, women want men they are attracted to who are competent to be nice to them.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
But usually that guy doesn't have a real need to be, because he gets away with a lot by virtue of what he comes with, the package, the entirety of the package.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard for society or men in general, on average, to hear women saying, well, we don't want a bad boy. Yeah. But if we look at your behavior,
yes,
that is the guys you go for. So how am I expected to hear you say, I want a guy who's nice to me? Then the guys you're always with are not men who are nice. In fact, the guys you complain the most about are the guys that are terrible to you, but that's the guys you're always with. Make it make sense.
So I think I got that. So what I mean is this. I think men are misinterpreting when they see a woman with a bad boy. I think they're misinterpreting why she's choosing him. I think the bad element is a byproduct of the quality she finds attractive. Right. For example, confident, competent, disagreeable.
Right.
Has the capability to live life on his own terms, whatever that looks like. Right? And in terms of when it comes to women, not afraid to lose her. Yeah. Right? And I think what happens is, because I've seen guys interpret the wrong things, and so they go, oh, she likes bad boys, so I'm just going to be a dick to her.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a woman the other day, this was at my mother's book launch.
Yeah.
And she was saying that she went on a date with a guy. He was very heavy in the quote unquote red pill space, right? We can get into that. And he was just basically trying to do a Kevin Samuels on her. Right, being like, oh, okay, but you're this old. Do you know what I mean? Like your values kind of going down here. Mesh it after. Like I don't think this is going to work and stuff. And just being just a mean person, right? And it was clear that he'd taken what I would say the wrong things about what it is about the bad boy. I think the bad is the byproduct of those qualities. And the example, the alternative I'll give is, like, for example, when guys will see women who, guys will see women go, oh, everyone wants a guy who has money. Everyone wants a man who has money.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are some women who are literal gold diggers, sure. But I believe for the vast majority of women, it's not the money. It's what the money represents.
For sure.
It represents he's a man who is ambitious, who is competent, who is disciplined, who is, who has direction. The money is a byproduct of the qualities he has that she finds attractive. But she's using the success as a signal of those qualities. Yeah. And so I think what happens is men look at women going for bad boys and they think the bad is the reason. No, the bad is a byproduct, what's being interpreted as bad, of these qualities that she finds attractive, which I said, confident, competent, disagreeable, not afraid to lose her, is willing to say no to her, no matter how gorgeous she is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It absolutely does. But it creates an interesting paradox, isn't it? Yeah. And I think that's what many men on average who are trying to figure out the process struggle with. Right. Because one of the things that's changed since I last saw you a year ago is that I also coach men now. So there's a community of 200 men who I coach weekly.
Amazing.
And every caliber in there. We got multi-millionaires, men who are featured in Netflix documentaries but struggle with women in there. So name the spectrum, it's all in here.
Yes.
And one of the things that I observe is that it's essentially men with different areas that they're trying to fix within the spectrum of their desirability and their game.
Right.
And some of them are just trying to figure it out, this whole women thing. And part of the figuring it out is being exposed to some of the unflattering realities of women. Whereas like you say you want one thing, but what I see you constantly responding to is the opposite.
Yes.
And I'm a nice guy and I treat you like this. But then I'm seeing this other behavior. So now I'm adopting some dickhead traits and I'm finding that you're liking me more.
Yeah.
What's happening? And some of these guys,
going on?
they send me voice notes and they're losing their fucking mind. They're like, bro, I said some wild shit to her face. I didn't give a fuck. She liked me more.
Yeah.
Bro, this is the same guy at the beginning, bro. She ghosted me the first time around. She ghosted me, bro.
Yeah.
Now that things have come around and now I'm like, I'm nonchalant. I'm winning.
Yeah.
This is a woman who says she don't like that shit.
Yeah.
But how is it working now? Do you know what I mean? And I think it puts men in this tricky space.
Yes.
Because it's like, ultimately, I don't think men are evil people who want to treat women badly. Some of those guys exist. But I think by and large, most men just want to meet a good woman, have a good time. If they could get off the market, just be peaceful. Most men actually would opt for that, if we're being real. Most men are getting such little abundance that they just want a woman who can see them for real.
Yes.
And without any of the masks and just let them be men.
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean? And these are men who are essentially looking for that. And when you're seeing this interesting mix of things happening, it can make the men, it can demoralize the men. Because can you imagine if you've been Disneyfied, so you've seen things about treating women well.
Yeah.
You grew up on Westlife music.
Yes.
You know, I swear it all over again. This type of shit you've been growing up listening to.
Yes.
And you think you got to go do this to women. And then you do that and somehow you don't get them. Then you do a bit of a flip where you just take on a few bad boy traits.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, you're more willing to lose her.
Yes.
You don't mind being audacious about the things that you want, whether or not she's happy or not. You no longer apologize for having a penis, so now you show her your sexual desire, and out of now she's getting hot for you.
Yeah.
And it demoralizes the men because they're like, who fooled me?
I've been lied to.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I've been lied to.
It's like, who fooled me, man?
Yeah.
Because like whatever the hell I was taught in my child, that shit don't work.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be treated super nice like that. They want a guy who's just a little bit. And the way I put it is, I think Matthew Hussey also put it this way: a good man with an edge. I don't think they want a bad boy. They want a man who treats them very well, who has a fucking spine.
Yes.
Who's willing to actually go, sometimes, shut up.
Yeah. Like, it's a no.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think there's an alternative for the women where they feel, because I've heard a lot of women express that they feel nice girls finish last and guys go for, the bad girls, the bad bees. Is there elements of that that's true, do you think?
That nice girls finish last. Do they finish last if they got the ring?
It's a good question.
And are you winning if you're the side chick that he comes to for the clap?
Very true.
I had exactly this chat with Sukaina when I was on her podcast a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
She said this thing about most guys don't marry their dream woman. And this is why they go out here cheating. It's because the side chick is who they really want. And I'm like, no. I don't think that's how it works, man.
That's not how it works. No,
that's not how it works. And I said to her, I tried to emphasize it with, the actual educated way to express it.
Yeah.
The dual mating strategy is as true for women as it is for men.
Very true.
The man enjoys the woman who is very sexually vivacious, and then he marries a woman who makes more sense for the long-term dynamic.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't enjoy the sex with her, but it just turns out that there is a bad girl outlet that he enjoys just for the carnal experience.
Yes.
And it's the same way, and I said this to Sukaina, it's the same thing as the woman who gets a little bit older, more mature, starts to date with intention, and starts to look for the investment candidates rather than the good genetics, raw sexuality candidates.
Very true.
And that's how a woman ends up married to a safe, nice guy who is doing very well for himself economically.
Yeah.
But he don't blow your back out the way Tyrone used to do it at uni. Do you know what I mean? It's the same shit.
Big facts.
And sometimes we see women cheating. And, and I said this, I think I put this in the reel before on my Instagram. I'm not proud of it. But I have been the guy that's fucked some people's wives. Do you know what I mean? And at that time, I was a rascal, bruv. Do you know what I mean? But I served a specific purpose.
Yes.
And the husband served a different purpose.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's as true for men as it is for women. So the idea of like, oh, the nice girl finishes last. No, she doesn't. Oftentimes, she's the girl who gets married.
Yes.
Albeit, she may get cheated on occasionally. Not always.
Yeah.
Some men genuinely do get past the phase where they're a toxic motherfucker and they get married and they stay happily with their woman.
Yes.
Some men do wild out. So we see, we can't not acknowledge that happens.
Very true.
Right? However, just because the side chick is the outlet for that, does not mean she's winning. Just because like, oh, he's coming to you for that. or he's telling you some secret. That's not a win.
Yeah.
So do nice girls really finish last? For real?
I mean, you put it very nicely, and it's true. If you confuse sexual attention for real investment for a man, then that's where you're going to be misled, because you're right. The side piece is only getting the sexual side of him. You know, I mean, it's the nice girl who got the ring, the commitment, all of that. How he's behaving is down to him. There's something else you want to bring to conversation. What else do you want to go through today?
Bro, talk to me about this Manosphere documentary that Louis Theroux made, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think we are living in a time where we are witnessing the death of nuance?
You ready to implement what you've learned here in your own life? Because if you're watching this, then you already know there's a lot I can't say on YouTube. The real patterns I see, the psychology behind why certain men behave the way they do, the exact moves for you to make so you start getting more of what you want. If you've been following along and something's finally clicked, then you might be ready for the next level where you move beyond theory and actually implement these learnings so you can get some outcomes in your own life with someone who actually gets it. I've found the real breakthroughs happen when I'm able to have a one-to-one with you. So if you're finally ready to stop spinning your wheels and get the outcomes you think you deserve, let's talk. Use the one-to-one link in the description and I'll be in touch. Now enjoy the rest of the episode. Hello?
I think there was a lot of selective nuance in that documentary. I think it was important to highlight because there was some, I'm not going to sit here and say there weren't any toxic elements of the red pill, of course. And I think the actors, when I say the actors, the people in the space they chose were of course on the extreme end. But I find it interesting how, I think the difference between, because they say like the manosphere is kind of like the female equivalent is like Miss Sprinkle and, you know, women saying black cat energy, all this. And a lot of women have asked me, why do guys subscribe to these men? Why do they subscribe to this ideology, all of this? Because of course they're looking at that, they're like, it's so brash, it's so toxic, all of this. And I say because rightfully or wrongfully so, the men in those space have the results that other men want.
100%.
They have the success, they have the women desiring them, they have the, you know, the terms, they have the networks, they have the friendships, they have the lifestyle. Whereas if you ask yourself, the women who you see who's given this black cat energy, all of this stuff, do they have the results that you want? Are they with the kind of high quality, high value man, happy relationship that you want? 99% of them aren't. And so, and I try and express that what the red pill gets right is holding yourself responsible and accountable as a man for your results, and it's up to you. I think for recognizing how to be, of course you have your emotions, that's important, but you still have to be able to move forward despite how you're feeling. So I distinctively, you know, remember one of the guys, I think, you know, they were on there. I think this was one of the guys who followed Justin Waller, right? And one of the guys who used to be homeless, and he was saying, yeah, when his brother passed, it kind of broke him, but that kind of motivated him to start working on himself and do better. And a lot of women looked at that and be like, yeah, but he didn't have time to process his emotions, didn't have time for empathy. Like he hasn't done that. It's like, it's not saying he hasn't done that. He's just found it motivates him to be better. And that's actually a really good thing. Because when you're with a man and all hellfire is breaking loose, you don't want to be with a man who's going to sit there and cry about it in the moment. You want him to be able to take action, get things sorted, then have time for himself when he needs to. And so it was very clear there was a bias in terms of the documentary. You know, he's toxic as hell, but HS TikTok freaking makes me laugh because he's just so funny, outrageous. Do you know what I mean?
I think Miss Sprinkle makes me laugh as much as HS TikTok.
100%.
I said this to Sukaina on her podcast that I said, listen, I think at this point, Sprinkle, when I see her content float every now and again, I think she must be trolling. There's no way you're serious. And if the women in my life are anything to go by, I know women are way too smart than to listen to her. Because the reality is, if any woman is actually taking her seriously and implementing her advice, you are fashioning yourself into the kind of woman that is easily played with by wealthy men.
Very true.
Literally. It comes down, this is another question I was going to ask you, but it ties in so perfectly. The idea that, men invest where they spend.
It depends on his level of financial abundance, because if a man has a lot of financial abundance, £200 isn't anything to him.
Bro, it goes even deeper than that, because when I've heard a woman say that to me, I asked her a deep question. I said, listen, this is probably a simple question, but it might actually be deep and worth us exploring and sifting it through. Have you ever dated a man with real money? Because these men who everybody is hypothetically saying they want, these millionaires and six-figure this and all this shit, when these men sweat for their money, it goes into it's like a pie chart. The bulk of their money goes towards deep long-term investments for their future.
Very true.
And then they start all these investments and high yield savings and all this shit. And then it starts going towards their utilities and help my mama here, help my friend here, all this shit.
Yeah.
And then with disposable income, that's when they go do some dumb shit.
Yes.
That's the money they go spending on dates and all the whatever they want and trainers and whatever else.
Yeah.
So the reality is, if a man, for argument's sake, has a disposable 10K per month, do you think he's that pressed because he bought you a bag that was $1,000?
Yeah. Big
when
facts.
he had 10K to blow?
It doesn't mean serious investment. If anything, a lot of the times those guys will use money as transactional with women. So, because I did this for you, I spent this, I now want something else.
Right. Yeah.
And because nothing in this world comes for free.
You know? And the fact is, when men make real money and they have disposable income, a man who can dispose of 5K is not pressed because he bought you a bag worth 5K.
Yeah.
If he can afford to throw that away, he's not tripping on you for spending that on you.
Yeah.
If a man cannot afford to lose 5K and he uses that to buy you a bag, now of course his investment is, right?
It's all relative.
But at that point, we don't need to be worried about his investment. We need to be worried about why you're dating an idiot spending 5K he don't have.
Oh, exactly. That's so true. So,
do you know what I'm saying?
True. So true.
I'm like, I don't think men's investment is about their money. Emotional investment is, trust me, I'm probably more invested in you if you were sick and I cooked you a meal and brought you some Lemzip and looked after you.
Yes.
My heart is with you here.
Yeah.
But if I had $1,000 to blow, so I bought you a holiday that said, come with me for 5 days, and you think that means I love you and you might just be cheeks for me over the money, and you really think my heart is in that because I spent disposable income?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's looking at the time, because time you can't get back.
Yeah.
And so like you said about going to her house, cooking for her, doing all that, whether, you're a man who has, $1 million in the bank or, 1,000 in the bank, that time is investment.
Bro.
That time is investment.
The time is what the investment is.
Yes.
And it's not even about girls. It's the same, because if you found out somebody in your bro's family had passed, so, you prepared a meal because you just wanted to go take care of bro for the week.
100%.
And you just went and took care of that for bro. And then maybe in addition to that, you left bro some money and you're just like, yo, bro, just for all the shit that going on, take your mind off of this stuff. I care about you.
100%.
So if that's happening to a woman, that investment of my time and me thinking about your mental health and all this shit, that is a person who cares about you.
Yes.
A person who can afford to lose the money they're spending on you does not care because they spent it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
I would love for women to internalize that, bro.
Why do you... Because the thing is, maybe we're biased because of how we think and reflect on things. And I assume a lot of guys who may be on our frequency do as well. Why do you think that? I feel like I don't see a lot of women having these reflectional awareness conversations. And maybe it's because as men, we know we have to understand women to get women.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, women don't have to understand men to get men until it's high value quality men. They have to understand men.
Yeah.
But why do we think there isn't that same reflection of, I guess, figuring things out in this sense? Because to us guys, sure, it makes sense to us, right?
Absolutely.
But why? I feel like I don't see it as much, which is why we have these conversations here, and I even started this in the first place. But
100%. I think there are a few women who have keyed into that frequency and they have the conversation for real.
Yes.
Where they're giving women real advice and it's harsh. A lot of it is not necessarily nice to hear.
Yes.
I can't remember her name, but this incredibly beautiful woman who's online saying, I'm a 6. The reason why you lot think I'm a 10 or you think I'm an 8 is because I know how to edify. I know how to treat people well. I know how to nurture you. And everything I come with, and she said, and I also look after myself for what God gave me genetically. I go to the gym, I do my makeup, I get my hair, I get my nails.
Yes.
I'm doing everything to maximize my own potential. Right. And on top of that, I'm such an incredible person that you think I'm a 9. But really, if you line me up with a Brazilian, some Kenyans, and some Colombians, they blow me out the water on my best day.
Right.
Now, kid, I don't think she's a 6.
Yes.
I sincerely think objectively she's probably an 8. Done up well, as she puts it, she's a good 9.5, 10. But this is a woman who in humility thinks she's a 6. And believes every other good quality in her character is what elevates her to anything higher.
Absolutely.
She's telling women some real truth. Unfortunately, most women are not doing that. And I think to your point, the reason why it's happening is because we already know as bros, we can't afford to lie to each other.
Yeah, it's true.
Because our results depend on this shit, bro.
So true.
If I was fat, you tell me, broski, it's treadmill time.
Yeah.
Girls don't do this shit to each other.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to look at me and be like, oh no, bro, body positive. Because you know, when I walk out here and I tell you that I want a desirable woman, if I don't get myself in a shape where she can look at me and be attracted to me, I'm not going to get results.
Big facts.
And as men who are the hunters,
yes,
if you have any care for me,
yes,
you ain't about to let me go out here and make a fool of myself.
Yep.
I don't think women do this, bro.
Do you know what? I talked to someone yesterday, and I think part of it, I think we underestimate as men the level of competition women have with each other. Because, and someone said this recently, I'm like, oh wow, I've seen that. If as a man, if I see you doing well as a man, great shape and good money, got a good woman on your arm, I'm like, I love that for you, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of women, if they see another woman has a great guy, you know, she's snatched, she's got the bag, what of this? They're like, okay. She thinks she's better than me.
Kate, I have a story for you. But finish your point, please.
Well, and so on that, I was going to say that I think part of some women, for example, giving body positivity. So let's say you've got the woman who's in really great shape. You know, let's say her friend, not so great shape. She's like, do I look great in this? Oh my gosh, babe, you look fantastic.
Yeah.
You look amazing.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to change. Subconsciously, she's going, she's not a threat to me. Let me keep her there. Because I know if we go out and there's a high quality guy, I know I'm going to be able to attract him better than her. And if I validate the things that would maybe disqualify her but qualifies me, that's going to help me get the better guy.
Yeah.
A big part of that is because the kind of men that women want are quite scarce in their eyes. So they're like, I would rather win the man and lose a mediocre friendship than keep the mediocre friendship and lose the one guy that actually maybe I want long term.
Big facts.
So I think there's an element of the competition, and as men, we don't see it as clearly because what we see is girls being bound together. Like, I'm a girl's girl. Yeah. But when it comes down to the man that they want, I think they could be more savage than men.
I believe so. Dr. David Buss talks about it in his book, and the reason why I love the book so much is because it's 37 cultures, well over 10,000 people, the most thorough human mating behavior study that's been done. Yeah. Female intrasexual competition is vicious, bro. Yeah. The clearest, 2 weeks ago, I sent this to the group of 200 men I've been coaching. And I said, boys, you know what's interesting? I just had an experience at the gym. We actually love each other, but I think girls hate on each other much more than we think.
They really do, bro. They really do.
I said, bro, I was at the gym just now. Older gentleman who looks about 80. Yeah. I'm about to do chest press. I've just come off my first set, dropped my weight. I see him in the mirror and I look at him and I'm just like, this guy looks like he's 80. What's he on? Right? And he walks up to me and he does this. So I take my headphones off and I look at him and he goes, Jesus Christ, young man, do you work out? And I said, I'm trying to look like you when I grow up, sir.
Big facts.
And we hugged each other. Yes. I had just met him. Yeah. Yeah. Beside me, there was a lady doing hip thrusts. A girl that's got a better bum walked by. And when I tell you the stank eye she gave her, I said to the boys, I said, she gave her evils as if nobody saw it. Yes. I was like, I saw this shit. Yes. Right. And I was like, meanwhile, older gentleman in great shape saw me and came to compliment me. Yes. And I complimented him back and we hugged. And we just met. Yeah. You know what I'm
100%.
But the girls were not giving each other the same love, man. But if social media is anything to go by, that I'm a girl's girl thing rules. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You go, girl. Yeah. It rules. Yeah. But like in the deepest, darkest places, and I don't think they're consciously aware of it. Because again, I don't think human beings those who do are some evil people in the world. Yes. I don't think most people intentionally go out with evil intent to go harm their fellow woman or their fellow man. I agree. But humans have needs and urges. And when competition anxiety creeps in, you know, because sometimes, let's keep it real, bro. Even though men love each other, sometimes if men are in the same space and there's just two baddies, but there's 7 men,
Yeah.
suddenly we start seeing something very, very different.
Oh yeah, people peacocking and all that jazz. Yeah, 100%.
And sometimes it's not just peacocking to raise their own value to the women. It's to shit on somebody else so they can get the woman.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the context is what breeds the competition. You know? And bruh, I have seen people who have done some vile things, said some vile things about their best mate because there was a girl in the room.
I mean, to be honest, I'd say that's just very low value behavior, man.
Absolutely, I agree.
Like,
But at the same time,
yes,
it's very
true.
human, right? So it's not like it's impossible for men, but by and large, on average, I think we massively, to your point, we massively underestimate the intensity of the female intrasexual competition for men.
Very,
do you know what I
very
mean?
True.
Because it's largely subconscious. I don't think a woman is consciously thinking, yeah, when we go out with high value men, I'll get him. It's not in her conscious mind, but it's in her animal brain.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because it's not on the surface, she still thinks she's a girl's girl.
Yes. Yeah, that's so true. She still thinks she's a girl's girl, but when it comes down to it,
you know what I'm saying?
it's like, if it's either me or her, I choose me.
You know?
But I get
And
that.
that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, because I guess human beings, we're self-serving by design.
Yeah.
We're self-serving by design. And you can almost even argue that the human beings who weren't didn't make it. The human beings who weren't didn't make it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Listen, man, I want to play red flag, green flag game.
Let's do it.
With you. And I've got a good few that we can go through.
For sure.
Okay. So let me get this down really quick. All right, here we go. There's a list. Okay. So I'm gonna say it: red flag, green flag, or amber. Okay. She has a very close relationship with her father.
Green flag.
Yeah.
It couldn't be more green.
Yeah.
Because a woman who has a healthy relationship with her father has an appreciation for masculinity, has an appreciation for masculine authority as the person who safeguarded her. And inevitably, that is also the first point of learning how to love. So that was the man who she saw loving her mom. So that's become the blueprint of the kind of man she should go for. And if a woman is looking at her father with reverence, that man set a standard that is unprecedented.
Yeah.
That's a woman that's actually, believe it or not, hard to play with.
Yeah.
Because she has seen something. Because now, play with a woman who knows what the real deal should look like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very true.
So it couldn't be more green.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's a woman who's been very lucky.
I agree. She recently became a devout Christian.
Recent.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Tell
Why
me
now? Why now? Most
question.
people come to Jesus because there's some bullshit going on. You dig?
Most people go to that extreme because they were at the other end of the extreme.
Exactly. It's because you've been partying with the devil.
That's
And now you want to hang out with Jesus because, you know what I'm saying?
People buy dudes because they've been partying with the devil.
You've been chilling with Satan, bro. You lot are boys. You know what I'm saying?
And the reason I asked that is because I feel like we see that a lot now. Women suddenly becoming devout Christians. I've been celibate now for 2-3 years.
Oh God.
Kind of midway through their adulthood.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would also say it's a bit of a red flag because usually if you're going that far one way, it's because you were entertaining the extreme on the other end.
And to be fair, let's be human and empathetic about it. It's not like people can't change.
That is very true.
Because who I was 10 years ago is a very different guy now.
That's fair. That's
so
true.
I would hate to be held so hostage to the sins of my past that it's like, oh, I can't grow.
True.
So I don't think we should be society, at least, because men are very harsh about this shit in the real world. I don't think men should be so harsh that it's like you won't give the woman room to grow.
That's true.
I think what it is that you need to decide that whatever her past has been, is that something you can get over? It's not, because it's not everybody's thing.
Very true.
And there's nothing wrong with you going, you know what, for what your life has been, not for me.
Yeah.
And some men can be like, oh yeah, it's cool.
Very true.
Essentially figure out which one it is for you, innit?
Very true.
But I don't think a woman should be held. I mean, being newly Christian is a red flag. However, you're allowed to grow.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I like that. I like that. So kind of on that, she has OnlyFans from years ago, but now she no longer does.
That's not for me.
That's
So to me, that's a red flag. Now, again, different people have different tolerances for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is, or at least not for something serious, because if I'm gonna want to be serious about, and this is another thing, Kate, we might need another hour, bro.
Go for it.
Because this is another thing that I see, and a lot of women like to have arguments about it, and I say it from the most sincere place in my heart. If as a man who is taking you serious, why would I want other men looking at your ass online?
Big facts.
especially if it's naked in an OnlyFans context.
Big facts.
I think about things like bikini. I had a chat with my friend's his younger sister, and I was saying that, listen, I'm not going to shit on anybody who wants to wear bikinis, because I'm not going to say I don't enjoy the view. I'm a man and I'm red-blooded. I'm not about to tell you to not wear that shit.
Right.
But let's call a spade a spade. If I asked you, would you say your underwear, your bra, and your panties, would you say they're matching right now? And she said, yeah. I said, if I asked you to strip off naked down to that, would you do it? Or would you think that was inappropriate? And she said, yeah, it's inappropriate. And I went, so why are we deluding ourselves that just because it's beachwear and it's both yellow, it's acceptable?
Yeah.
A bikini is a
Really
bra
good
and
way
a
of putting
panty,
it.
bro. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Just different material. Just different material.
So if you won't take off your clothes right now down to bra and your matching bra and pants, why do you think bikini is any better? Because it's the same thing. Just because it's designed for the beach don't suddenly mean it's now good. It's the same thing. Let's call it what it, in fact, it's probably worse because you got to tie it by the side or some shit. Like, if I bump into you with my hip, it might come off. Now your whole ass is out. Why would I want that for my woman? For the whole world to see. Now, it's different if me and you are on a holiday resort. Now, my girl wants to walk out in her shit. Cool.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to shit on anybody who wants to wear bikinis. But let's also be real. Because if we look at it down to its bare skin and bones, it is not that different from matching underwear that you wear with your clothes on.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
So why are we pretending?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
true.
if she had an OnlyFans, that means not only is that stuff out online, but also more likely a naked version of it does exist too. I wouldn't want that to be the mother of my children, where you can just go Google mummy's ass is all over the internet. Come on, man. That ain't fun as a man.
It's true.
Let's just be real, man.
It's true. No, I hear it, man, for sure. She says if he wanted to, he would.
It's an amber flag.
Okay. Why?
Because she's largely ignorant a little bit of that. If he wanted to, he would is only true in part. Because on one hand, there is desire and then there is capacity. I might want to, but I might not be able to.
Very true.
Maybe I want to take you on a holiday and do some wild shit for a girl. But what if I'm in a time of my life where I'm having to be very frugal and stringent because it is the best economic move for me?
Yes.
Are you now going to apply if he wanted to, he would, to when it's like, my love for you has not changed. If anything, Lord knows I love you down. But right now I need to prioritize the future. So there is desire and there's capacity. And then sometimes there is, maybe I have the capacity, but I don't want to do it.
Yes.
In which case, if he wanted to, he would applies.
Yes.
So we need some, it needs guardrails. But at the same time, we have to be mindful. When men see women at face value, what they are designed biologically to want is your ass. So for him to want something more, you have to show him the more that he has to want.
Very true.
Right? But if you go around talking about if he wanted to, he would, you're expecting him to want what you want. And he's a man. He's not a woman.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense in the same way. You have to understand men and we're different. So
Very well put. Very well put. A woman believes in manifesting her dream man.
Amber flag.
Okay.
Because listen, I understand the power of that spirituality stuff, because living like you already have it puts you in a state of gratitude that can actually pull it toward you.
Amen.
The law of cause and effect is real.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Energetically. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's faking it till you make it. Expanding your energetic capacity to have what you have what you want is a good thing.
Yes.
However, if she lets that become this thing that she's now living in, that isn't actually taking actions to grow and become the type of woman that can actually A, attract, B, retain that type of man, but you out here manifesting.
Yep.
Well, that's the bullshit, bro. Let's just call it what it is.
100%. It's similar when, for example, I said this to someone I started working with recently, where she was like, God's going to bring me a man. I remember on our first call, I had to tell her, he's not going to bring you a man. Right? And she's like, he's not? I'm like, no. She's like, what do you mean? And it's kind of like saying, if you say to God, I want to run a marathon, he doesn't give you the medal, he gives you the shoes.
Yeah.
He may give you the avenue to get there, but you have to take the steps to actually get to that medal.
Yes, sir.
And one thing I think women can confuse is they think that manifesting means you just wait and have the desire for it and you wait. There's a difference between waiting and attracting. Attracting is active.
Yes.
Right? The feminine attracts, the masculine pursues.
For sure.
Waiting, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Either way, So I think that's literally what that is there for sure.
I'm with you.
A woman says she doesn't need a man but wants one.
To me, that's a red flag.
Interesting. Tell me why.
Because emotionally healthy women never have to say those things. A lady said this to me. I was in Ghana at the time, And she said, well, you know, I'm in the time of my life when, you know, I'm being more intentional with dating.
Yeah.
And I said, what you been doing this whole time? And she froze.
Facts.
And I said, I'm not judging you, my love. But I am telling you, women who date with intention never have to tell people they're doing that.
They
just do it.
Very
right?
true.
It's like the girl who says, oh, I don't usually do this. Women who don't usually do this never have to say it.
They don't need to say it. It's
because
true.
they never find themselves in a place where they need to say it.
Yeah, very true.
You dig?
Very
Things happen
true.
at their appropriate time. So they never have to say, I don't usually.
Yes.
And usually, interestingly enough, when people say I don't usually, it's right before they do the thing.
It's right before, yeah.
Let you call it
because what they're saying, they're giving a disclaimer. They're like, don't judge me by this action I'm about to do.
Right. And in essence, as seasoned men, we know that what that really means is I do this, I just don't want you to think I'm easy.
Right, yeah.
So the idea of a woman saying, I don't need a man, I want one. Emotionally healthy women never say that.
Yes.
Because not only do they have nothing to prove to anybody by saying, I don't need you, I want you.
Yeah.
But also they understand that human beings are not superfluous to each other.
Yes.
You exist because I do, and I exist because you do.
Yes.
You are the answer to some of my prayers, and I'm the answer to some of yours.
Yeah.
So if I move through the world talking about I don't need you, how am I expecting you to feel great about the experience of lending your skill set or your gifts to a world that includes me that I might benefit in? We're not superfluous to each other.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should go, because really and truly, bro, you live your own life, you facilitate your own life, you don't need your family, but you don't tell your mom, I don't need a mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your mom's not superfluous to you.
Exactly.
You don't necessarily need to hang out with your friends every day, but you don't tell your friends, I don't need a friend, I want a friend.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this about men?
So
it's
true.
stupid. And
So
emotionally
true.
healthy men don't go around talking about, I don't need a woman.
Yeah.
It's
true.
It's some dumb shit.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? Because oftentimes when, look, and let's call it what it is, when women are often saying they don't need a man, I get it. Because on one hand, they're saying history has been so crazy that we have been in need of men. And now
true.
the tide has turned so much that we don't actively need you to facilitate our lives.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
But you don't have to tell me that. Because the history that led to the oppression of women is not what we live in right now.
Yeah.
If I took that same mindset, I will oppress white people daily. What their ancestors did to black people is not the world I live in right now.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense for me to go around berating white people for what the people before them did. Fair enough. They created an environment that benefits them more than it does me.
Yes.
But in this moment, I will achieve more by extending outreach and olive branches so we work together to dismantle the bullshit that happened before.
Big facts.
As a
Amen.
woman, you will achieve way more by partnering with me so we destroy the bullshit that stopped you before when the previous men before us did that to the previous women before you.
Yes.
Let's work together and make this thing happen rather than you telling me you don't need me.
Yeah.
I'm not superfluous to you. So if you tell me you don't need me but you want me, fair enough. Your competition is just as attractive as you or better looking and they think they need me. Who do you think I'm going for?
Fair enough. Well said. Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
She says she's always gotten along better with men than women.
That's actually a bit of a red flag. I think it's a red flag because women, generally speaking, biologically are more community based than we are. Excuse me. The opinion of the tribe has always mattered more to women because as the species that has not been the physically dominant one,
Yes.
they needed community.
Yeah, for safety and numbers, of course.
Precisely. So this stuff goes all the way back to evolution. So if as a lady, your natural instinct is to favor that, but you've always got along better with men. Now, if you're a tomboy, fair enough. Do I want to be with a tomboy? I have to make that decision for me.
Right.
But if it's not that, then really and truly, why is it that you don't get along with your fellow woman? What is wrong with you?
Good question.
Because really and truly, most women naturally get on with their fellow woman for community purposes.
Yeah.
There is a safety that they get from that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for a woman to naturally not subscribe to that makes me think, why? Because also, let's be honest, we know what the male hormonal matrix is, especially once puberty kicks in.
Yeah.
We know how violent the male sex drive can be. Those men there ain't trying to just be your pal. So if you just get on with friends, like you just get on with men, it's like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Because let's not kid ourselves about what those men's intentions for you are, most likely.
Yeah.
And if that's been your whole life, what kind of life have you been living, my love?
What's been going on?
What's been going on?
A woman who says she's in her soft girl era and wants her man to provide while she prioritizes peace and femininity.
Fair enough, but what value are you adding to justify that desire? Because are you saying that because you're looking for a man to essentially slave over you? Because what is the benefit? Let's be real about what this whole soft girl thing is. If you're saying I'm prioritizing peace and I want my man to provide everything, what is your purpose? Right? If we take this stuff all the way back to the creation theory, which kind of began everything, and I know everybody doesn't believe in Christianity, but God made man and he gave him a job. He said, Adam, you've been born, you've been made, do the garden, look after the animals, do this, mow the lawn, etc., etc.
Yes.
And then he kept looking at Adam doing the work and he said, you know what? It's not good for a man to be alone. We need to make him a helper. Put him to bed, took his rib out, made a woman for the man, a helpmate. Help you achieve the goal, right? So now you've become the head of a family and she's become the neck, your biggest support confidant. It wasn't that Adam slave your life away while Eve is in her soft girl era. I don't think that's how God intended it.
Big facts.
So it's like,
Big
okay,
facts.
fair enough. If you want to be in your soft girl era, do you in it. But ultimately, if you're saying you want your man to provide everything, what is the reciprocal benefit that he gets?
Yeah.
What is the value you're adding? Or are you saying you want a sponsor? Because
Yeah,
then call it what it is.
Yeah.
Do you know
Call
what
it
I
a
mean?
sugar daddy. You
It's
know?
not
Like,
soft
call
girl,
it
it's sugar daddy.
Just call it a sugar daddy. It is what it is. It's so interesting because I think that it's really recognizing that transition from the value I was adding before was maybe typically masculine ways, which is the financial, the confidence, the discipline, great. And then going, cool, now I want to add value in the feminine ways as opposed to I just don't want to be adding anymore.
Right.
Because that was too much for me or that didn't work for me.
Precisely.
You know? So yeah, definitely that transition of adding value in different ways now.
Yeah.
Right. And this goes back to the feminine isn't active, it's just passive in the ways that are meaningful.
Precisely. Yeah.
Let's see. A woman says she has very high standards, 6 figures, 6 feet, ambitious, emotionally intelligent, and family orientated. Red, green, amber.
Amber flag.
Mm-hmm.
You can want what you want. The market just has to agree.
Very true.
You want a man who you have high standards, 6 feet, 6 inches, all of the good shit.
Yeah.
But does that type of man think you deserve him? We have to deal with the reality of the other side of the equation.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, do you merit the standard that you say you want? Because let's call a spade a spade. Toyota can come out and try sell us their cars for Rolls-Royce prices. If we don't agree, we ain't paying that shit.
That's true.
Right? We pay Rolls-Royce prices for Rolls-Royces because the market agrees that they are worth that.
Yes.
So if you want to say you're worth that type of guy, does the market agree?
Does it agree?
That's my only question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Want it, but the market has to agree with you. And if it doesn't, perhaps you don't deserve it. It might be time to switch tact.
Yeah. Big
Do you know what I
facts. I hear that.
Yeah.
Woman openly talks about therapy, healing, attachment styles, and sets firm boundaries in relationships.
Green flag.
Yeah.
Green flag. A woman who has a healthy relationship with her mental health and the systems that allow a relationship to thrive is absolutely important. If you know your attachment style, you can better serve the people that you're dating or in a relationship with. I know, for example, that because of my biological father's abandonment of me, I had an anxious attachment style in my early childhood.
Okay.
And then at one point, it led to me tipping to the other side of the equation, where in my fuckboy era, I was avoidant. And I've worked my way through therapy and a bunch of other different things to get to a secure attachment style, to the point where now I don't see the rest of the attachment styles as negative. I can be with a woman with an anxious attachment style, and I know the level of closeness she needs.
Right.
So I can give her what she needs while also being a safe space that can guide her towards security. By giving her the reassurance that she needs to feel the safety of my closeness, but also letting her see evidence that my periodic distance for righteous reason does not necessarily mean a rejection of her.
Yes.
So I can lead her to safety. And similarly, if I date an avoidant woman, because it's not a bad it's just an attachment style. It's not an evil thing.
Yes.
People who are avoidants just sometimes use it for evil, but it's not necessarily that it's a bad thing. It's just a style.
Yeah.
And similarly, I know that they need space. So I can give an avoidance the space that they need to not feel smothered. And similarly, I can guide them towards security of an attachment style by letting them know that the moments when you get to be close to me, it's not you being smothered. It's actually how relationships get built.
Yes.
But I also know that there are times when you need your space and you can have it without it being infringed on. So if a woman is cognizant of all of these things, I think that makes her a phenomenal partner because now you're aware of it.
Yeah.
So you can work with your partner in the moments when they're avoidant, they're anxious. You know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're into therapy, because let's keep it real, I tell people this all the time. Something doesn't have to be wrong with you for you to use therapy.
I agree.
Just having a channel where once every week, once every couple weeks, once every month, you can just talk to them and purge what's been going on in your life is healthy.
Yeah.
We do this shit with our friends all the time for free.
Very true.
But somebody who is paid to just ask probing questions that allow you to troubleshoot what's happening in your life and to problem solve yourself, it's invaluable, bro.
Yeah. It's
Whether
so
there's a
true.
problem in your life or you're just a regular person living, get you some therapy.
It's true. It's like training or exercising. Like, you don't need to be out of shape to want to train, and exercise like it's good for just for physical maintenance.
Yeah.
So therapy is good for mental maintenance, whether you feel like you're absolutely solid or whether you actually feel you have things to go through.
For sure.
I actually want to start therapy soon. I've never had it, but I actually genuinely
bro, I
want to start
highly
it soon.
recommend, bro. It changed my life. No
Really?
lie. It changed my life.
I really need to. I need to. Okay, this is last one.
Sure.
A woman earns significantly more than the man she dates and says she won't date a man who earns less than her.
Hypergamy 101. It's not a red flag. I think it's an amber flag, because you also need to be realistic about the world you live in. I have no issues against women maximizing their potential economically.
Yes.
But we also have to be real about the female nature. Hypergamy is real. They've been wired by Mother Nature to want to date across and up economically. That's not necessarily a bad thing unless they abuse that.
Yes.
So if you make significantly more than most of the men you date, and because of that you want the men who make on the same level as you, you have to accept that your pool is smaller.
Yes.
Which means the guys you want are so small because you're so economically tall. So now really and truly the leverage is in their hands because there's less of them and an abundance of you. Yeah. So it tips the scale in a way that the leverage is significantly in their favor. So you actually have to earn the guy. So, the desire for an equal economic or higher mate is one thing. But then she also needs to ask herself some real problem solving questions. Is this essential for your life? Because times have changed, but human nature hasn't. And that's a cool thing. But you also need to be real about the world you live in. Most people don't earn on that high level. There is average income for a reason. Exactly. And there is the above average, and then there is the upper echelon. Yes. So if you happen to be doing well at the upper echelon, the men available there are very few. Yes. And now do you qualify for them? If you don't, it might be worth reassessing, because can you live a happy life where you can still respect your man? Yeah. Without necessarily wanking with the fact that you make money over him. Because I genuinely believe this, kid, and I'm curious to hear your opinion. Go on. I don't think men have an issue dating women who make more money than them if they still feel respected as men. And the issue is most women who earn more than their men struggle to respect men who are not performing on the same level as them economically. 100%. And there lies the issue.
100%. It's never because she earns more. He feels a lack of respect if she feels that. And I completely agree that I think women struggle to respect a man they feel she's doing better than, because instinctually they want a man who they can look up to. Yeah. Right. And a lot of the time, like when I've heard women go, oh yeah, we broke up and he was intimidated because I made more. And I know as a man, 9 times out of 10, it's not because of what you made numbers wise, it's because of how you made him feel because you made more a lot of the time. Because respect is the number one way that men feel loved. Fact. And big so I completely agree. Yes, yeah. I want to wrap up, but before that, I want to give you the floor. It's always amazing to have you on, bro, and we'll get you on again for sure. Yeah. What's one thing that you want to wrap up on? One thing you want to ask or bring to the conversation?
One thing I want to ask. This is a good one.
Go for it.
I recently hosted my first ever singles mixer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. There's a dating app called Thursday.
Yes.
And they run singles mixers in person. Yeah. And I wanted to talk to you about it because I was in a room full of about 50 people. About 27-ish of them were women. And I was the host.
Yes.
I spent the whole night trying to stop nearly every woman from trying to go after me.
Of course. Look at you. Come on. Let's go.
Stop flirting with me,
this
kids.
This man's sharp. His aura. Like, come on. How could they not, King? Love that.
But the thing that bothered me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share this with you because I know you're in this particular line of work with significantly noble and passionate intent and genuinely making groundbreaking moves in the lives of women. Some of the women, I felt sorry for them, bro. Because not all women are Delulu.
Yes.
Some of them have I met women who are solid 8s and going, there's no guys here for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's unreasonable for a woman who has put in economic work to be an 8 and who has put in physical work on her. I look after myself. I go to the gym and do my eyebrows. And she's objectively speaking an 8, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Going, I would like a guy who is in a similar ballpark.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unreasonable, man.
Yeah.
And the issue of the fact that desirable men don't need these type of events
It's very true.
means that the type of men who do go are the men who need to.
Yes.
But the women are just genuinely trying. Some of them are just tired of swiping, so they want some in-person action.
Yes.
And I guess the question to you here is, because I'm trying to problem solve this, and maybe we might have to do this together.
Yeah.
How do we incentivize desirable men to want to attend this type of event, so the women feel like the caliber of man they want is actually at these places?
Yes. Very.
What's
good
going through your?
question.
Tell me something, man.
So I had a reel, I think it came out maybe 2 months ago, where I did a reaction to one woman asking this question: why don't men go to these single events?
Yeah.
And a lot of men resonated with what I said, commented, it was shared, you know, I think got like maybe 50k views or something.
Yeah.
And what I said in that was because a lot of singles events are tailored towards what women want to do. They want to go, have a drink, talk, community, etc. Now that's nice.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about men of value, why would they go to an event?
Yeah.
Usually they go to an event because they're going to be exercising, so they're investing in themselves physically, because they're going to be networking or meeting people of a similar industry that's going to help, you know, develop them, make their connections, or they're going to be learning a skill that they want to do. So if we want to, instead of thinking of, okay, we need to make a singles event for men, it's kind of more, what is something that these men like to invest in? Make an event for that, and then you bring the women.
Yeah.
So if I was going to do it,
Yeah.
right, I'd probably do a survey, right? And maybe this is something we do, who knows? Record it here first, right?
Yeah.
I would literally do a survey of a lot of our circles are these high quality men, you know, doing really well for themselves, about what are the top 10 things that makes you go to an event, right? If it's a business, personal career, whatever. Whatever the highest 2-3 things are, would make an event that is purely focused on that, right? Because if it is, then we know the men are going to be there.
Yeah.
Then we would make an advertisement for the women, as in a singles event where this is what's going to be happening, right? And whether they go, and they have to be open. They have to be like, okay, cool. This is an event that is about, I don't know, about tennis, right? Or this is an event that is about tech and marketing or something, right?
Yeah.
Making those connections. Or this is a charity gala, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then provide that for an option for the women to go, but we would have to vet the women.
Of course.
And the reason we would have to vet the women is because if we want these men to continue to go to the hypothetical events that we would make,
Yeah.
they need to know that the women there are of caliber and quality as well. That incentivizes not only them to go to the next one, but then to bring their friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I was going to make an event to connect quality men and women, I would prioritize the event around something men like to do,
yeah.
and then invite the women to join.
I feel you.
And the reason I have to do that is because these events, women already go. We know that.
Yeah.
So if you know that women already go, you need to make an event that's tailored for the men, because that's going to make them go, especially these high quality men.
Big facts.
That's
The
what I
first
would
thing I
do.
did after my reflections was I posted it into the group of 200 men.
Yes.
Because again, as we say, these are of the economic standing that the women, because some of these women are finance girls. Because I would ask them things like, listen, just so I know what I'm working with here, what's your type? So I can see if we can look for it.
Big facts.
And they've gone, you? And I've just gone, sweetheart, you can't have the host. But then I've gone, no, but on some real shit. And then they tell me about where they sit economically. I'm working in finance, I'm da-da-da-da-da, I'm da-da-da-da. And I'm looking around going, I don't know if there's your economic caliber here. But more importantly than that, I've gone, well, what's your physical type? What makes you go yum? And then they've gone, oh, tall, got a mullet, a mustache, or they tell me some shit. And I'm looking around and I'm going, okay, so we know he needs to be of a certain caliber, but he also needs to be of a certain look. And so I've posed it into this group of men who are of said caliber, and I've essentially asked, what would it take for people like you to want to go to something like this? So I'm curious to find out, but that's why I wanted to pose that question to you as well, because I'm like, maybe there is a space where we actively solve this fucking issue.
Yeah. So I'll give
I
you an example. There's a mastermind workshop I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm planning to go to in September.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like a business mastermind workshop in Miami.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like a few K to go. So it's an investment to go. But I'm going for business because I know I'm going to be in a room of people who are a lot further than me in terms of business wise. Right.
Yeah.
And so for me, especially if you're a man, you're growth orientated, like, okay, yeah, I'm doing well for myself, but I want to get to the next level. I know I need to learn from people who are doing that.
Of course. Yeah.
Now, if that event, that business event, right, and there's going to be a lot of men of caliber there,
Of course.
right? If that event happened to have women there, that's the perfect opportunity for those women to meet these kinds of men.
Yeah, because they're in the room.
Because they're in the room.
You're in the room where it
Because
happens.
these men are going, cool, I'm going for business incentives. Because men of value or men who are on their purpose,
Yeah.
they've set time aside for play,
Yeah.
but that is not, their life does not revolve around play. It revolves around their mission, what it is that they're doing. That's something they go, cool, this is my release. This is what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But when they're going to an event or something, like even going somewhere is an investment of your time. So you need to think, what is the return I'm going to be getting?
For sure.
So that's an example. That's why I said I would do that, as in, okay, well, these kind of events. And I would say to the women, if there's a kind of man that you want, the truth is you have to go to him.
Yeah.
You have to go to the spaces he is in, right, to attract him. Because like you said earlier, these men don't need to go to these events to find women that they want.
Yeah.
So you have to be able and willing to put yourself in his eye line, in his view, be in his spaces.
Yeah.
And then you have to then learn the skill in terms of how to attract him and then how to keep him.
Precisely. Yeah.
Which, if you need that, that's when you talk to us. Thank you
That's
very
precise.
much. Let's end on that beautiful ending. Listen, King,
yeah.
we could chat for another couple of hours.
For
You know
sure,
what I mean?
for
We need to
sure.
wrap up. If people want to find you, guys or girls, in terms of what you're doing, how you help people, where can they find you?
Broski, I mean, first and foremost, man, just gotta give you your flowers, bro. You're doing some groundbreaking
Stop
fucking
it.
work.
Look
bro.
how he's
Let's just-
charming
let's
me.
just,
You
bro.
see?
I'm not even flirting. Imagine if he was a girl. He'd be finished right now. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's a real shit though. I think you're doing some
appreciate
incredible work, man. Like, credit where it's due, man. Most people die before they get their flowers, but you should get it while you're at it now.
I really
bro.
appreciate that, man.
You're doing
Honestly.
some incredible work. No cap. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of leaves have been taken out of your book, for real.
Thank you.
But where to find me?
Yeah,
At
where
Mr.
to
King's
find you?
Takes on Instagram. And it's the same on YouTube and on TikTok at Mr. King's Take. And I help with all things dating, problem solving for both women and men, helping you date with standards and clarity to stop chasing and finally start choosing. So yeah,
Amazing.
I'm the guy for that. And also I recently interviewed a fantastic man called Kenneth Play on mastering sex, because there's an incredible orgasm gap where 96% of men finish all the time and only 65% of women do. And in casual dynamics, 86% of men do, 35% of women do. So as men, we have a massive job to do, man. We need to represent and make sure these women are finishing and climaxing repeatedly if we can. You dig?
I love that.
And I'm about that. So the interview's up on YouTube. Check it out. And there's a lot of short form content of it on my Instagram to check out too. So yeah, at Mr. King's Takes is where you find me.
Amazing. We love that,
Yeah.
man. Dave for coming on. We appreciate you. Guys, go give him a follow. Go give him a like. Definitely check out his stuff, right? Co-signed by me, of course. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.